Morning. So I think probably the first thing I should tell you about me is that my email address is agitator. I'm here as half of a team. My spouse, really my spice, Marty Davis, is here as well. She's sitting right there. We're a collaborative enterprise when it comes to philanthropic decision-making. I'm a media person. I was a founder and publisher of a newspaper, those antique things, and I would undoubtedly be identified by others as a political activist, which I am, especially when it comes to environmental issues. I long tilled in the field when trying to bring environmental preservation and economic development together, and when it comes to equality for women and members of the LGBT community. Marty is a very successful printmaker and painter and an active conservationist, which usually translates as being a recycling tyrant. And she's a national leader in supporting emerging artists, and she's a godmother to many butterflies. But that's a long story. Marty and I walk the same path in our passion for environmental concerns and for equality. We are both very Provincetown identified. We lived in that special, magical place for more than 30 years. In case you're counting, we've celebrated 37 years together in February. We've both been community activists and leaders, giving much, I underline that a lot, of our time, energy, and resources to causes and issues that we care about. So first off, and there is a point to this that I will come back to, I'd like to read you a list of just some of the nonprofits which we have in the past been very, very involved as board members or board chairs. The Environmental League of Massachusetts, the Association to Preserve Cape Cod, Provincetown Conservation Trust, the Center for Coastal Studies, those are the people that go out in the little boats and save the whales, Fine Arts Work Center, the Provincetown Theater, Cooperative Theater of New York, New England Press Association, Ms. Magazine, Planning Commissions and Councils of New England, Cape Cod Economic Development Council, plus, no surprise, a long list of political organizations. You didn't hear any specific LGBT identified name among those particular organizations, and as I said, I will come back to that in a minute. The truth is that you can't live in Provincetown and not make LGBT issues a priority in whatever you do. This was true during the depths of the AIDS pandemic when we were literally daily losing precious voices in our community, and it is still vitally true today. Nevertheless, it would be accurate to say that women's issues, environmental issues, and arts organizations were often at the top of our time commitments. The turning point in terms of priorities came when I read the Obama Department of Justice response to the federal case filed by GLAAD, single A GLAAD, bringing forward a challenge to the constitutionality of Section 3 of DOMA, otherwise known as the Gill case. It would not be an exaggeration to say it was a hair-on-fire moment for me. The DOJ filing was demeaning and bigoted, and I was shocked that it came from a Democrat from the Obama DOJ. As a footnote to this, I will tell you that I had the opportunity to say something to the president in person about that. I said to him that I hoped that I would never read those words coming from an Obama Department of Justice ever again. And I can only say that as time has gone on, we in fact don't see those words coming from them anymore, thank heavens. That moment, reading that filing, changed our giving and our time commitments as well. Currently, I'm a very proudly on the board of GLAAD, single A, as well as the Stonewall National Museum and Archives. We are both active in support of GLAAD, and in addition, we have worked with organizations such as Freedom to Marry and Fenway Health, Lambda Legal, and we are very active in supporting LGBT and LGBT ally pro-choice political candidates. Indeed, that is now a major priority, and I am one of the founding members and on the board of LPAC, and an enthusiastic participant in political OutGiving. Beyond that turning point, I would like to go back to that list that I mentioned earlier, all those organizations. Because both Marty and I were out, we were not aggressively out, but we were who we were, and we sat on the boards and were often the chair of these organizations. And by doing that, we were developing allies, we were educating people, we were telling people who we were, what we cared about, what was important, and it's part of that getting to know thing, and it was building allies. And I think we would suggest that this is an important part of the puzzle to share. That in addition to directly supporting LGBT issues and causes, that we need to involve other people, and many of us, most of us, I think, are not single issue people. We get involved in other things, and our presence in other organizations and being active in other organizations builds an awareness and a support for the issues that are important to us. So when you engage in that variety of philanthropic causes, each one of those things opens a door. And each of those linkages offers an opportunity to educate and to build alliances and to bring equality closer to reality. Finally, I'd like to share with you what it is that's central to what we choose to do, the two of us, whether it be giving of time, sometimes lots of time, or dollars. It's the concept of stewardship. The word comes from Old English, and it means ward or keeper, and we take very seriously and passionately our responsibility to preserve what is good and to work to leave our world a better and more equal place than we found it. We've established a foundation, and that's the non-typo that you have, the MALLRD Foundation. Has nothing to do with ducks. It's just a combination of our initials. The foundation's long-term priorities, one is environmental, mostly habitat preservation, and the other is achieving equality, especially for women and girls, specifically including lesbians, in all venues and aspects of their lives, through intellectual, physical, social, and economic independence, and through achieving empowerment so that they can move into decision-making positions worldwide. I would note that that probably sounds like 501c3 funded revolution, and as an agitator, I'd not be likely to disagree. Most of all, and in the end, the bottom line is making a difference, and preferably now. Thank you.